Here's something that might surprise you. In most ancient religions, magic wasn't superstition, it was technology. And it worked for a very specific reason that changes everything about how we understand ancient views of good, evil, and the gods themselves. To understand why magic worked, we need to understand where power actually came from. In polytheism, there's something above the gods, a primordial realm of ultimate power, right? The metadivine realm, that's the primordial reality existing behind the gods, from which they derive their power, right? The gods didn't create this realm, they emerge from it, they depend on it. Think of it like a cosmic power grid. The gods are plugged into it, drawing energy, but they didn't build the grid, and they don't control it. Whatever substance makes up this primordial realm, blood, water, clay, that substance carries inherent power in the physical world. This isn't symbolic, it's metaphysically real. If the primordial element is blood, then blood in living creatures holds deep connection to ultimate reality, right? If it's water, then rivers and the rain carry cosmic significance, right? The material world isn't separate from divine power, it's saturated with it, right? Gods only have power insofar as they connect to this primordial substance. They're not omnipotent, they're powerful participants in a system they didn't design. And this is where magic enters the picture, not as wishful thinking, but as a logical consequence of how power actually works. If power resides in material substances, then anyone who knows how to manipulate those substances can access that power, right? The magician isn't a priest begging for divine favor. The magician is a technician and operator working with the raw materials of cosmic power. Magic can even compel the gods. Why? Because it accesses the source of their power directly. The magician bypasses the middleman. Divination follows the same logic. Why bother learning what a particular god wants when that god's will can be overruled by another god or by primordial decrees written into the fabric of reality itself? Divination seeks to tap ultimate reality directly to read the cosmic patterns that even the gods must follow. The diviner isn't asking the gods for information, the diviner is reading the source code. Now here's where it gets darker. The primordial realm generates everything, good and evil alike, right? Evil gods and demons aren't fallen or corrupted versions of good gods, they're siblings. They emerged from the same source at the same time with equal reality and equal power, right? Evil is built into the universe's structure. It's not a corruption of something good. It's not an absence of good, right? It's a fundamental feature of existence, as real and as powerful as goodness itself, right? The universe didn't go wrong. It was designed this way, or rather it emerged this way with no designer at all. This creates a profound problem. No absolute moral standard can exist. Think about it. Gods disagree with each other constantly. Each god's knowledge is limited. They don't know everything. Any god's decree can be overruled by another god or by primordial fate, right? Morality becomes merely what this particular god prefers, right? But that god's preferences carry no ultimate authority. Another god prefers something different. The primordial realm doesn't care either way. Amoral, that's the key term. Not immoral, meaning against morality. Amoral, without any moral framework at all. The universe is morally neutral. So, what does this mean for humans caught in this cosmic struggle? Consider seasonal festivals. Ancient peoples didn't just commemorate divine deaths in winter and resurrections in spring. They believed their ritual reenactments magically activated the powers that ensure life continues. Cultic, that's the technical term for systems of religious rites. Cultic festivals manipulated blood, flesh, and the precious metals to coerce the gods to a favorable action. The ritual wasn't worship, it was technology. Get the technique wrong and the crops might fail. Get it right and you've harnessed cosmic power. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The gods can't really save humans. They're too busy saving themselves from each other and from the primordial forces that threaten them. This is where Gnostic salvation enters. Gnosis, from the Greek word for knowledge, offers a different path. Secret knowledge that allows humans to bypass the gods entirely and connect with metadivine powers beyond the reach of demons and capricious deities. The Gnostic doesn't pray to the gods. The Gnostic learns the passwords, the secret names, the hidden pathways that lead past the cosmic gatekeepers to liberation itself. Notice what both paths, magic and gnosis, have in common. Both bypass the gods, both access power directly. Right? Both treat the divine realm as an obstacle to walk around rather than a source of salvation. Right? This isn't primitive thinking. It's internally consistent. If you accept the premise that power is material and the gods are limited, then magic, divination, and the reality of evil all follow logically. Right? The ancient magician wasn't naive. The ancient magician was operating within a coherent worldview where these practices made perfect sense. Understanding this framework helps us see why monotheism represented such a radical break, not just in the number of gods, but in the entire structure of reality, morality, and human hope. In monotheism, power isn't material, it flows from divine will. The one God isn't dependent on any primordial realm. God created everything, including whatever substances exist. Magic can't compel God because there's no power source above or behind God to tap into. Evil isn't built into the universe's structure. It's a corruption, a deviation from how things should be. And the morality isn't what this God prefers. It reflects the character of the only God who exists, whose knowledge is unlimited, whose decrees cannot be overruled. That's a fundamentally different universe. But to appreciate how different, you first have to understand the world it replaced, a world where power was material, gods were limited, magic was technology, and the universe itself had no opinion about good and evil. Right? Summary statistics, total duration, 7Q, frame count, 11 including frame 0, total word. Right? Count, 1050 words, average pace, 2.5 words per second, or 5 conceptual diagrams referenced. Teaching flow, hook, frame 0, build, frames 1 to 2, deepen, frames 3 to 6, apply, frames 7 to 9, synthesis, frame 10,